We're back. Normal people are here tonight. Hope you enjoyed
Hmm.
the, special guest
Normal.
Cody.
We'll
Yeah,
we'll use that to
very loosely.
yeah, exactly.
Two guys in a basement drinking bourbon and talking over Zoom. As
We're
normal as
not
it can
normal
get.
people. We're normally here.
I got a bottle I'm really excited about. I've been wanting a bottle from this company for a while,
Hmm.
but I've been scared to buy from this company because I've heard really mixed reviews. Uh, so I went to a store and they had a really good pick. And so I wanted to share
Hmm.
this. It is a finished bourbon. So I'm going to give you that. And that is all that Chuck gets to know ahead of this. We're going to see what we think, and then I will reveal the bottle. But for you lucky people watching, there should be a picture somewhere on the screen now letting you know what we're drinking.
Could you do that action again?
I'm just glad I got the AI stuff turned off, so it's not like doing fireworks and whatnot. All right.
Yeah, now you have me intrigued. So it's not one or a brand that you've had previously.
This is the first bottle I've ever bought from them. I think this might be the first we've ever tried it on the channel,
Oh wow. Okay.
which is, I mean, saying something. What is
Have I
this,
ever
three,
had
4
anything
years in?
from them before?
You might have. I would, if anybody has a shot, it's probably you.
Okay.
So I get lots of grape and oak.
Oh yeah, that's what I'm getting. It's like rich. Well, like yeah.
Yeah, this
Just
is,
from the nose, I'm trying to decide, the finish. It's not like the classic sherry finish, but I'm
no,
getting a little bit of that like leathery note from a sherry. Um,
yes. Yeah, it's a very rich, I don't know a better way to say it. It's like almost comes off as like a dessert bourbon.
yeah, but like dark fruit macerated. Like it's not a bright strawberry note
Yeah.
here. And really that oak is dominating to me. The wood.
Hmm.
You get hit with like a little bit of like a sweetness note, maybe a little bit of honey,
Hmm.
but then that drying wood just comes in and it's like a wave on the ocean beach just wiped out your sandcastle.
Yeah, it's a very light and delicate palate. I'd say maybe one, two notes. I get the honey sweetness. Um, Again, maybe I don't know, a little bit like a port or something like that almost. Uh, yeah, and then the drying oak just says, "Hey, here we are. This is what we're staying with." And at the very end, maybe a little bit of pepper or baking spices, but just very faint.
Yeah, yeah, little bit of spice, but yeah, that drying oak. So I almost think this is a maybe a blend. Is it? Well, I could ask you if this a single barrel finish or is this blended? Because I could see it being something toasted, blended with also maybe something like a port. Not getting strong sherry notes, so I'm not thinking that, but
So one finish.
one finish. Okay.
Yes.
Hmm. Yeah, I was trying to think if it's not just to toast it, but you're getting some sweet notes that are not classic bourbon in there. Some fruit notes, particularly on the nose. Hmm. Maybe like a cognac.
That'd be, yeah. Except cognac's got a little bit more, I feel like, punch to it. At least the cognacs we had. I mean, I find this a very delightful pour. It'd be a dessert bourbon if I wanted to finish off the night, and something like that I think would be great. Probably be good in some of the crazy cocktails my wife comes up with. Uh, but it's one I can just sit there and sip on and enjoy. It's not in your face with flavors, but they're delightful flavors that you have.
Yeah, this would make a premium cocktail. Like this would be really good, particularly with those oak notes. Like that would just come through quite nicely.
Yeah,
I honestly like, as particularly as I drink it more, the that oak note that was just so powerful. You kind of get used to it a little bit,
hmm
and it's quite lasting in the finish also. So you call it a dessert bourbon, but I don't. I think with that oak, like it's. I mean, maybe it's my dessert bourbon sitting in the. I don't have a. My dream is to have a library where I can sit in there with leather chairs and smoke a cigar and uh, have a
that'd be
bourbon.
amazing.
But that's what I'm kind of picturing, right? Like if it was that,
Yeah.
maybe that dessert, your after dinner cocktail here, or after
Mhm.
dinner drink, sitting in your study with your tweed sweater and your cigar.
Yeah. And I'll say, as it opens up more and you get, like you said, more used to the oak note and that kind of dies away, I'm starting to get a little bit of maybe like raspberries or some other dark red fruit. Not cherries, though. Definitely not that.
Still trying to figure out what finish this would be to give you that rich oak to. Yeah, it's not a classic toasted, but it definitely feels like there's a secondary wood finish there.
Hmm. So, would you buy this or not? Or I guess,
Price
yeah,
point would
one.
impact that decision. Oh,
Okay.
okay, go ahead.
So, yeah. So let's, yeah, clarify. Would you buy it? And then what's the most you would spend on
Mm,
it if you are willing to buy
I mean, geez, we're talking about regrets of the past. Um, I've bought some Bardstown Bourbon Company collaborations recently that were finished, that were not this good, to be
it?
fair.
Ooh, those are
Um,
big words.
I mean, I think
Yeah,
it's,
no, it's
well, I
great.
don't think they're big words. I mean, some of the early Bardstown Bourbon
Yeah.
collabs, like forget that. Like those things are upper echelon, but probably never to be touched again. Maybe until another 20, 25 years when we have a bourbon glut and that
Yeah.
people start finishing 15-year-old whiskey again. Um, but anyway, I digress. Back to the task at hand. I think if this was, I think that this was in that $70 range. I'm trying to think of, maybe a little bit more fruit notes on this, but like the Barrel Vantage
Oh, okay.
is kind of similar to me with that rich, not the, it's a toasted, but it's not that classic, just bright,
hmm
young American toasted, like we had on the Nulu that was like, let me just bite into this raw piece of oak.
I can
Not
do
like
that
that.
right here.
Yeah, exactly. Um, so I find this quite. I'd be in that, like, yeah. Brian would probably say $45. I think I'm in that 65, $70 range, but I don't know.
Okay.
Maybe I'm just numb to bourbon prices anymore. Like if you don't spend $70, like
I mean, it's been a couple months since I bought it, but I think you're right there at the price point. It might have been $50. I think I don't want to say 45, but I know it was lower priced because I was willing to take a chance on it. Had it been up around the 60 plus, I wasn't going to take a chance on it. So this is another pick from our guys at SavWay, which is great. So they've done some amazing picks, which means it is few.
oh,
And it is finished in Merlot barrels. So yeah. So like I've
so,
been scared to take a chance on few because I've heard such like some really people really like it, some people really don't. It's out of Evansville, Illinois, so right north of Chicago, uh, or Evanston, Illinois, I should say,
yeah.
Evanston, and yeah. So this is a at least 4 year old charred American oak barrels, then finished in Merlot barrels. So I
Did I tell
think
you the
it's
barrel size? Because now that I
they
know that, some of that taste or that char that you get that
yeah
on they're using these smaller barrels that seem to
give you that little
impart
vanilla you
a bit
know it.
more of that. Yeah.
It does not say on it. They might have it on their website, but I mean, they're
Uh,
getting big enough. I would be surprised if they're still going small
weren't
barrels.
they bought by? Is it Brown Foreman?
So, Heaven Hill. I think it was Heaven Hill, if I remember right.
Was it Heaven Hill? You are accurate. 2016.
Woohoo!
Dang it. Good thing I didn't bet. I almost was put a wager on that. Whew.
So yeah,
Saved me.
I think this is a like great pickup. I think if you have a liquor store that you trust their picks and they have a few pick, I say take a shot on one. Uh, I
Yeah,
enjoyed it.
this is a surprise to me because in you were right to keep it blind to me before the tasting. Um, the fews that I've had have and to be fair, they weren't the finished ones. They were their
Yeah,
straight bourbons, and that's probably been 3 years. Probably haven't had one recently. Um, they were not good.
yeah.
Like I wouldn't have given you $20 for it.
Uh-huh.
So this and I said a premium cocktail. Like shoot, this price, like you can just put
Yeah,
that in a regular day, everyday cocktail.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
No,
I
it's
find this very pleasant.
yeah, and you even said it was better than some of your Bardstown collabs, which are
Well,
about 3 times the price. So
yeah.
just saying. I
Again,
mean,
I think that says more, maybe more about the Bardstown collaborations recently, but
yes. Which is probably why we haven't had a Bardstown collaboration review lately, because that is
no.
$170 when you got options like this. It just says something. So, all right. I'm glad I could trick Chuck into liking a bourbon from Illinois that he previously didn't like. So let us know. Have you tried few lately? Were you scared away originally? Um, and if you have,
Maybe
what
time to
have you?
revisit.
Yeah. So with that, cheers. We'll see you next time.
Stay neat.